Hello everyone, I'm Riley Rucker, and in this episode of Middle School Career Readiness, we're going to be doing a little something different. We're going to be giving a little news segment. Today's news segment is actually about the backlog of fire trucks throughout America. Firefighters aren't just experiencing heightened fire levels, an amount of wildfires, and emergencies in those regards. They also are having struggles in the manufacturing part of their fire apparatus. There are three main companies who manufacture fire apparatus, and at this point, from maybe 3 or 4 years ago, fire departments were able to get vehicles in 6 to 12 months, and now the wait times are anywhere from 17 to 20 months, being at the maximum wait time of 3 years for a fire apparatus. The most recent vehicle to be commissioned in the Austin Fire Department was a ladder unit that was bought in the fiscal year of 2023 with the money or the budget of 2024, and that barely was received and went into service this month, May of 2025. Now, the largest firefighter union in the United States of America has signed a petition and wrote a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice requesting a federal investigation into the three main companies who make fire apparatus for fire departments across the United States, not just Texas, as well as a U.S. senator has started her own personal investigation with her office into this issue, and they're hoping to see the conclusion of the investigation within several months. We did have the opportunity to speak to Assistant Chief Thayer Smith of the Austin Fire Department, so let's hear what he has to say about it.
Okay, so if I'm correct, in the world of firefighting and many departments across the United States, there's been a massive backlog of fire trucks at the manufacturers. Could you explain a little bit more about what that is and how it's affecting your department?
Yeah, so there's a few national articles out that are examining the manufacturers' hold over fire truck production, and what's happened is the fire department manufacturers have mostly been purchased by three main companies, and they've cut back on some manufacturing plants. And if you look at what the national stories are reporting, things that are being done to boost the profitability of those companies. However, in turn, what has happened is that has slowed down production. It's extended waiting time, sometimes significantly up to 2 to 3 years to get apparatus. So what's that do, for the fire service in Austin in particular? That just means we're seeing longer wait times to get our apparatus delivered. And we're still in pretty good shape here in Austin. We're sometimes getting our engines within 17 months or so, but also that some of our ladder truck projections over the next couple years are projecting out to be anywhere from 2 to 3 years, possibly on those lead times for delivery. So certainly may have a future impact on our operations.
And you mentioned the wait times have increased. How have the prices as well as the wait times increased from maybe 4 years ago or even 6 years ago?
Yeah, so we're seeing, particularly with ladder trucks, something that may have been $1.2 million pre-COVID. They're up now post-COVID, up to 1.8, even closer to $2 million. Our last two that we bought were 1.7 and $1.8 million, whereas we used to pay 1.2. So the prices have significantly increased, which may be also impacting how many trucks we can buy each year within our budget.
Okay. And the the largest firefighter union in the U.S. has recently signed a petition for the DOJ to have a internal investigation um, into these companies who make fire trucks. Uh, how do you think that that would help the issue, and what do you think they're possibly going to find in that?
Yeah, so there's that's also, I believe Senator Warren has also launched an investigation into how those companies allegedly have cornered the market, for stock trading and that sort of thing. And so that's all laid out in a national article that's out there. And they've closed several plants, so there's a possibility, depending on what that outcome of that investigation is, to maybe have these companies reopen some of these plants and increase the production. But they also then have to find the skilled workforce to do that as well. But it'll be interesting to see what the outcome of that petition and what that Senate investigation, what that all reveals.
And this is most of the news outlets that I've seen have been mainly talking about how this is affecting fire apparatus. Do you think that this is affecting EMS apparatus in any way, the manufacturing of ambulances or anything like that?
I'm not sure on the specifics of the ambulances. I mean, all those, some of those companies also make ambulances as well. I think there's a more diverse manufacturing of the ambulances, but I know both Austin EMS, because they're a separate agency from Austin Fire. But what both Austin Fire and EMS have done is we have diversified our purchase orders, and now instead of going sole source and getting one manufacturer, we now each have at least two manufacturers that we buy from, so that we can kind of stagger our delivery times and hopefully get the orders in, and we'll switch back and forth from one to the other based on the projected lead times for delivery.
And what do you think could they possibly change in order to make this process of getting fire apparatus better?
It's simply, probably the best thing would be to open up additional plants that have been closed, and get more manufacturing back online with more plants and more workers.
Okay. And do you see any change in this issue in the near future?
In the near future, no. Right now, I mean, they'd have to ramp back up and reopen plants that have been closed, and I mean, and somebody would have to probably force them to do that. But right now, I don't see any relief in sight from the backlog of orders that's out there.
I hope you enjoyed listening into that phone call with me and Assistant Chief Thayer Smith at the Austin Fire Department. Sadly, Chief says that he does not see any change or anything that is going to be helpful happening in the near future. He does hope that in the a little bit more distant future that there will be opening of more manufacturing plants and getting manufacturing back up and running to allow apparatus to be delivered to our first responders throughout the United States to help them respond to emergencies faster. Thank you for listening. I'm Riley Rucker, and this was TYCR News.